Welcome to episode 11. My background, I don't know if you noticed, my background looks a little similar. Oh, hello.
Gay.
I just made my 7-hour drive from Pittsburgh to Newark specifically, and then that'll pick up really nice on the mic. And down to Colts Neck, New Jersey. I will say, I've only been to New Jersey once before, and it was on accident. I thought I was going to see the Statue of Liberty, and we're from the South, so we weren't very good at Northeast geography. So I got on a train and popped up, took a Snapchat, and the filter was like, "Welcome to New Jersey." And I was like, "Oh fuck! I just came to New Jersey on accident." Didn't realize that it was right across the river.
Well, don't worry. Eric went to New Jersey on accident too, so
very much on accident.
I
want to hear that story.
Yeah, baseball runs through Newark.
Said probably absolutely no one.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, Happy National Beer Day and happy opening day to the MLB.
That's right.
Congrats on getting your shit together, guys. We've been doing this for 6 weeks already.
Yeah, it was wonderful to see that Major League Baseball is back. But credit to our last bullpen alumni, Coach Mark Wazakowski.
Yep, not Mike Wazaninski.
College baseball is more exciting to watch than Major League Baseball, and it's not particularly close. So Major League Baseball is going to roll on, and we're baseball people, so we're going to keep talking about them.
And we're going to the New York Yankees versus Boston Red Sox opening day on Saturday. So
it's the day after opening day.
We got day after opening day, but
this is the closest that we're ever going to get to the Yankees Red Sox opening day.
Yeah.
So we're pretty hyped for that. But what we are equally hyped for is both the baseball that already happened this week and the baseball that's happening this weekend. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Talking about rankings first and foremost. To no one's surprise, Tennessee remained the number one overall team. We talked about it on Sunday, and I don't think it came as any surprise to anyone to see them at number one. Can anyone do anything this year to knock Tennessee out of the number one ranking?
I don't think so. I think Eric was very, very spot on with his statement last week when he said they could quite possibly lose, what you said, 6 games or something like that, and still be in the number one.
Yeah, it was like they could lose the next 6 games and still be the number one team in the country.
Yeah, I think that's a very.
I don't know.
I think it's a very.
Their record versus everybody else,
I mean,
besides Virginia.
Yeah, but you're saying they get swept by Missouri. Virginia doesn't get swept by Miami.
Well, no, he didn't say get swept by people. He just said they could lose 6 games and still be.
Losing the next 6 games would be at least one sweep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Get on my house.
There's kind of a cluster at the top, right? I think at the beginning of the season, we were saying about Texas, what we're saying about Tennessee right now, where they're just far and above. They're the number one team, clear cut. And now I think we've kind of got Tennessee in that tier, or tier 1A. And then the teams from, I would say, 2 to maybe at least 2 to 4 are really closely bunched. Right? I think in every major poll, well, there's a couple of exceptions.
I think the only outlier is D1 has Virginia at 7.
Yeah. No, D1 has Virginia at 3.
Yeah, D1 has Texas at 7.
Yeah, we have it's probably because you didn't update it. We have the same top 4 as perfect game. Pretty much top 5 are interchangeable, except for the only real difference I see is we have Miami at 5. Everyone else has Oregon State or Oklahoma State kind of that 4-5, which I don't really agree with. I still kind of think Oklahoma State's a little stinky.
Yeah,
and that's why we have them at 12.
I think.
Yeah, and Miami
they
has a
are-
better record than both of those teams too. They only have
Oklahoma
6 losses.
State is 28 and has a better record than most of our top 25 teams.
Well, so what I was getting at was with the top couple teams. I think Virginia, Arkansas, Texas Tech, before this week's games, were relatively interchangeable, a matter of personal preference. But Texas Tech had a stinker of a week. Eric, I know you and Suges are kind of the resident Tech fans. You guys watch any of those games?
No, I didn't have time.
But I
did see
him
the
between the tears in
recaps.
his eyes.
Well, I watched the recap of the first game and decided maybe I shouldn't watch the second game to save myself some tears.
Eric definitely muted Texas Tech's notifications on Twitter.
So I think next time we release the top 25, we need to do if you beat them, you take their spot. We put GCU.
I don't think
top 4 in the nation, baby.
Brennan, that was a very Suges thing to say.
No, baby, I'm talking about Elon at 22. I'm just trying to. I want to shake it up a little bit.
We should have a separate rankings. Release.
Drunk it up,
Yeah.
or
That could be your new
This is like a
Elon in the
real-
top 25.
Yeah, this is a real, Roman Greek Empire kind of thing. You got to beat them to take.
Iona somehow.
You
beats
get whatever you
UNC.
want.
I think you were smoking
Exactly.
the devil's lettuce before this podcast. Maybe.
It's National Beer Day, baby. It's God's nectar.
Bush.
Shout out Bush Light, please, dear God, sponsor us.
I personally approach my rankings like I think I rank them in order of who I would think would win series against each other. Like if a team is ranked 6 over 7, I think that they would beat 17 in a series, like a 2 out of 3 series. So that being said, unless you want to jump immediately to midweek action, I'll go through and highlight some of the teams that have the biggest discrepancies among the polls. Do you guys want to talk quickly about D1 and Perfect Game?
I would talk, but apparently mine are just.
Yeah. So Perfect Game actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of our top 30 teams. They don't have them ranked literally at all.
Yeah, I see here Wake Forest, Stanford, Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I see 5.
Mercer, NC State, Wake Forest, Florida, UNC. I counted the last 5 too, the Purdue, Auburn, Old Dominion, Maryland. I counted those guys as well.
Crazy.
But there's no respect on Wake Forest. There's no respect on Mercer.
Can we not respect
D1 doesn't
respect on Wake Forest. When is that ever going to happen?
Dude, D1 doesn't even respect Stanford.
Some of these things that are happening with these major polls, I'm not really picking up what they're putting down.
Well, they're trendy.
I mean,
They're
I get
super
this, right?
trendy.
I mean, that's fine and all. But like,
I mean, they saw Virginia Tech win the series against North Carolina and decided, let's just throw them in there. Teams like that. UConn. I think Mercer's a better team than UConn. They've only lost 5 or 6 games. They've beaten Georgia Tech.
Who the hell has UConn beat?
Exactly.
they have UConn.
UConn's a women's basketball team or a basketball school.
Not even a basketball school, a women's basketball school.
A women's basketball school, exactly. So
Also, they are a good soccer school.
Can someone look up
Women's
UConn's
soccer.
schedule?
Yeah, they're 21-7, but they haven't beat anybody good. I mean, they've beat Rhode Island,
Okay.
lost to Boston College.
Oh,
Even
it's a
worse.
joke. That's a joke.
They won the series against Kent State. They beat Central Connecticut State 25-6. I mean, they beat
They
Merrimack
lost to-
College.
They lost to Long Beach.
State. Yeah, Long Beach
But so
State.
do they have any series victory against
Yes,
a team that is now-
Pepperdine.
I'll say
They've never
Pepperdine.
been top 25 this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they won 1 game against USC. That's it.
Also, they were 25 for like 1
Yeah.
week.
I'll say FIU because FIU is not a horrible school, but they're also still pretty damn bad.
They did have a good win though against Louisville early in the year. That's the third game of the year they beat Louisville.
Yeah. Oh, well, Louisville didn't have a very good start to the season. I think that's
No.
kind of why everybody counted them out. I think the first couple of podcasts, I was like, Louisville's one of the worst teams in the country. I kind of put them there, right there with like Cincinnati and Nebraska. But I think they kind of came into their own here recently, and Louisville is.
But so just to wrap it up on UConn, so they're putting them on record alone, and their record is 22-7.
Yes.
22-7.
And
Makes no sense.
And after March 15th, which is when they played USC, they haven't played any big school. They played San Diego, Rhode Island, lost to Long Beach State, lost to Boston College, won the series against Kent State, and then won individual games versus Central Connecticut and Merrimack.
So maybe they're putting them there because they haven't dropped a series. And they haven't.
Right.
They've only dropped one midweek game, so I guess they're kind of counting UConn as a complete week team.
Even RPI has them at 50, and like D1 loves RPI. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
you got to
They
put.
did.
Go
They
ahead.
did beat ECU's dad, Bryant.
Suges, you got that alarm ready? Because we need that one. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my God! Bow, bow, bow.
Exactly.
Jesus.
I don't know if you just made.
But
I don't
I think you
any
got to
case
put
for it.
Mercer before UConn. Mercer's beat Florida State and
Without a doubt.
Georgia Tech, and
Dude,
they've only lost like 5 games.
I'd put Mercer over LSU if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they're
it's perfect game. Put UConn over LSU.
Okay. So
That's
Hey,
silly.
I would also. Hey, honestly, I'd probably do that. I'd probably do that too.
I want to
Little
talk about
assholes.
2 teams. So these are 2 teams that in the composite rankings are top 10 teams. And there's a little bit of it. So Arkansas and Oregon State. Arkansas was underwhelming to start the season. And the D1 podcast did a great job talking about it feels like Arkansas hasn't even hit their best potential like versions of themselves. And yet they're still, beating Mississippi, which isn't great, I guess. It just feels like they're
I think they're like the silent night of the SEC, haven't they?
they're flying under the radar because Tennessee is getting so much attention.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not because
so
Arkansas isn't like a known program, they are, but Tennessee is just dominating people so badly that nobody's talking about Arkansas.
I wouldn't count a team that hasn't lost an SEC series in 2 years flying under the radar.
But they are.
But they aren't.
Nobody's
it's-
talking about them.
No one's talking. So
for
it's
people
not
that know
under.
baseball,
It's not under the radar. It's just like, congrats, you got second place in a race. You're not under the radar. You're just.
I mean, they've
Under-
just been doing what they're supposed to be.
You're just
doing
under
now,
Tennessee.
I guess.
Can you name any second place runner-up finishers to Usain Bolt? No. Nobody.
Gay from the United
Tyson Gay.
States.
Tyson
So,
Gay.
Yeah.
And the other Jamaican guy that ran the 400 relay with him,
Gatlin.
Justin
shit.
Gatlin.
Justin Gatlin, baby. Let's go. That's
Okay,
first,
well,
second, and
That
third.
backfired. But my only point was that
Hit him
Clip
again,
it.
Travis.
Clip
Hit him
it.
again with something else.
Clip it. Travis got proved wrong.
I'll drink to that. That's
This only happens once in a blue moon. I need a drink too.
But yeah, I won't say under the radar. I might say in the shadow of Big Brother.
Is that not the same?
how is that different?
That's
No, it's not.
Please
Anyway,
differentiate that. No, I want him to differentiate it.
so Oregon State.
no. Let's hear
Oh,
Brennan.
He won't go. It's fine.
Brennan, what's the difference between under the radar and in the shadow?
So guys, this would be Arkansas under the radar. This is Arkansas in the shadow of Tennessee. And that is how they're different.
For those
What?
listening, he literally wrote Arkansas under a shitty drawing of a
A
radar.
radar gun.
It says 101. That's how you know it's Tennessee.
Well, it's one of, but that's fine.
It's actually 104.5.
All
If you want to make it accurate.
That's what I did.
Bring it in.
104.
All right, moving on.
So
Wow.
Oregon State. how heavily are we faulting them for dropping the series at home to Stanford? A struggling.
I mean, I think we all know how much I wanted to fault them, but
Well,
I called it.
I kept it level headed.
So fun fact. D1 does not have Stanford ranked at all.
Still,
Oregon State loses to Stanford, but Oregon State stays at 5.
Perfect game doesn't have them ranked either.
so here's the
Yeah.
thing: there's so much variation. College baseball is nation. I'm slurring words because I hear my own voice in my ears because of the mic.
Well, you sound beautiful, baby.
Thank you.
I want to touch on
College baseball nation has them at 17.
Mhm.
Collegiate baseball has got them at 19, and they have teams or rankings like D1 and USA Today, which still have them at 5. So there's
Yeah.
clearly a split in the voters here. on
So
this thing.
so you made a really good point. I think it was 2 pods ago, or it might have been on Twitter. You were talking about how they want to predict the outcome of the season, and we predict how they're playing now.
Right.
I don't. It's kind of like with college football. I think college football does a very good job of ranking teams as they're playing now, besides Alabama.
Yeah, I was gonna say besides Alabama and the top 5 teams that they have.
Well, I mean, if you don't lose, you can't drop. But
I had a nice little conversation with Dylan on Twitter before that series, and I told him that the trees are going to take down the beeves, and he said, "Don't beeves take down trees?" And I said,
I'm getting
yes.
stupider by the second.
Hey, you guys want to play Pictionary? Hop into his brain.
"No,
Am I drunk? This is my first drink.
you didn't let me finish."
Go ahead, finish.
And I said, "Yes, but this weekend a tree is going to fall on top of a beaver dam and shred their house to little pieces." And that's exactly what happened over the weekend.
And this, children, is the story of the hungry, hungry caterpillar.
Is this Dr. Seuss?
I mean, it might be
It's Dr. Seuss.
one of the ways you go, hey, what's going to happen in this series? Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yeah, break it down.
But he was
Barney
still
style.
right. He was still right.
Well, I want to credit ourselves on one team for our rankings, and that's Oklahoma State. Every major poll, aside from the College Baseball Foundation, which has them at 15, has them as a consensus top 7 team.
Well, whoever is college baseball or collegiate baseball, they have them at 10.
That's
Well,
correct. Thank you.
collegiate baseball has
And
almost
guys being
no-
dudes, and we have them at 12.
Right. So the point I'm getting to is that every single underlying computer metric has them outside of the top 20, some as high as like 38. So are we in the right for saying that Oklahoma State, people are overvaluing them based on still the residual like Vanderbilt series? I mean, they just lost to Oklahoma, right?
Yeah. I
Why
mean,
did you bring that up?
Perfect Game
But
had
they're-
Oklahoma State at number 2 last week.
yeah,
They're
no,
still
it's-
21-8, which is still a better record than or equal to the same record as most teams in our top 25.
LSU's 21-8. You know, LSU has that same record. You know, they've played.
and they're-
I feel like the same caliber.
And they're also in our
of
top
teams,
25.
but they're not 2 everywhere else, 5 everywhere else, 6 everywhere else. You know, I think consensus they have them. You know, almost 17, 19, not ranked in 22.
Yeah, but
So-
then again, if
But I feel
we're going off
LSU's metrics I feel like are a little bit better, but the status of Oklahoma State and their program the last couple of years is literally what's carrying them through this year in these rankings.
I mean, if we're going off of record, I mean, what? Wake Forest is 22-7.
Yeah, no one else has them ranked.
No one wants to rank them. They have losses to a college World Series champion, Coastal Carolina, a very hot Florida State team, Virginia, and they took 1 game from Virginia.
Yeah, but yeah, I think back to Travis's point was they aren't looking at computer metrics. They're solely basing it off how they feel, and we do a very good job of kind of balancing the two. Looking at RPI, the strength of schedule. Have you beat anyone? No, then you don't deserve it. Like kind of like look at Wake. You know, their strength of schedule is a little lower, but they did beat Virginia. They've had some good games. They have a very good offense. Are they better than a Stanford, Mercer, UCLA? No. And that's why they're not
Stanford,
above them.
I think you can say they're almost the Wake Forest of the Pac-12, right? At least as far as rankings go right now, because D1 baseball, as we said, perfect game, Baseball America, collegiate baseball, Spitting Seeds, College Baseball Foundation, all have Wake Forest unranked.
Yeah.
By contrast, right, for Stanford, D1 baseball, perfect game, and Spitting Seeds have them unranked, even after the series victory at Oregon State. So it's just, you have to reward these teams, even if their resume, it's tough because I see both sides of the coin, right? Like a whole complete resume may not be as competitive as a teams like Oklahoma State with a series victory over Vanderbilt, but we try to evaluate teams and how they're playing right now. And Stanford had a huge victory. Wake Forest has one of the hottest teams in the ACC.
Easily. I mean, it doesn't show, but I would put them over NC State. I mean, yeah. I
Look at
I
Mississippi.
just want a little bit of respect on my boys.
Yeah, look at Ole Miss. You know, they were what, number 1 team in the nation, according to us.
According to
Not me. Never.
They had a very bad showing against Tennessee. We dropped them to 10 or 11 because that's how they're playing now. But everyone else still wanted them top 3, top 5, which they did not deserve that week. I think
it's also because I think people have a hard time going from one, dropping them down that far just based off of one series. That's why I think after the second series after Tennessee is when they started dropping for a lot of people past like 5, 6, 7.
But you're not playing good right now, so you don't. Teams are playing better than you right now. Try again next week.
It's like we didn't drop Texas all the way to 10 like we did Ole Miss when they lost 6 games in North Carolina.
I did. I dropped them to like
South Carolina is the number 1 team in the nation or the 301st. I don't count any loss or win against South Carolina does not count.
But
they are a
also
0-0
Texas
team right
example, now. Right? It was one series and then one midweek game, right? But let's not get carried away. It was like,
and then another midweek game.
It was 2
against A&M.
No, yeah.
Okay,
completely
well,
different.
South Carolina. At least if you guys have other teams you want to talk about, please bring them up. The last one I definitely want to talk about is what we think of Louisville. We've got them at 23. Their range is high as 4 at collegiate baseball, and didn't they just get swept?
Yeah, and at RPI has them at 38.
No, I'm sorry. They didn't get swept. They lost the series to Pitt.
Yeah.
And then, so high as 4, low as 23. That's where we have them. Where do they fall? I mean, 6-0 start in the ACC and then drop to Pittsburgh.
They threw them up there because they swept Notre Dame.
I think that's a very solid point. I think
they swept Notre Dame.
They swept Notre Dame.
They beat TCU in a midweek.
I mean, TCU. I mean, we have
TCU's on the slide.
Yeah, TCU's not. I mean, no one, at least from this Reddit page, has.
Well, that was a month ago when they beat TCU. Back when TCU was still before TCU started sliding down. So they beat what was a good TCU team at the time.
They beat a good Charlotte team, the giant killer of the East Coast.
They lost to Lipscomb.
Yeah, I think it was the Michigan series they took that kind of put them back on the map. Just because, I mean, Michigan was not a bad baseball team before this year.
They were a very competitive program historically. Like when I was in high school, my pitching coach pitched for Michigan. Actually, he actually pitched at Michigan for the head coach of Georgia Tech, who's now at Georgia Tech. He was at Michigan before Georgia Tech. Danny Hall.
Didn't they lose last year in the
my pitching coach?
Not high school.
Oh, it was like a private thing.
Gotcha.
Well, we're gonna find out in the next 3 weeks who Louisville really is, because they got UNC, Florida State, NC State, followed by Clemson, a midweek at Vandy, Wake, Virginia Tech, and then they end their season in Virginia.
Okay, so I think that's a good point. But I feel like we were saying earlier this season, we're gonna find out who this team is when they're coming and getting their first like big opponent. Let me make this statement, and you can tell me if we still have yet to figure out who Louisville is. Louisville is the South Carolina of the ACC.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
They swept Notre Dame. They come back and lose. Well, and again, sweeping Boston College, I'm ignoring that because they're Boston College. Sweeping Notre Dame, lose a series to Pittsburgh. Until we see further, I feel like we know who Louisville is, and it's just a very inconsistent team. And
I wouldn't even call them the South Carolina. South Carolina is a 500 baseball team. Louisville's sitting at 21-7.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, maybe
Louisville
that's a little
hasn't-
bit disrespectful.
I
they
think
haven't-
Travis
they haven't
is
lost
saying
a lot of games.
I think Travis is saying by the end of the year they're gonna basically turn into South Carolina.
No, I 100% think that at the end of the year, I think they'll be
Because I mean, if you
slightly
lose,
above 500.
if they lose both
Oh,
these
wow,
series
you think
against North
that
Carolina
bad?
and Florida State, they're
Yeah.
down bad.
You think that Louisville's gonna lose that many games to be slightly above 500?
They're going to drop 2 to 3 at North Carolina, 2 to 3 at Florida State. They might get 2 against NC State. They'll probably get 2 against Clemson, but then they have a midweek Vandy game, a 3 game against Wake Forest. Virginia Tech, they'll take 2 or 3. Virginia, they're going to get swept. There's not a lot of games that I'm confident that they are gonna win. You guys quit flirting over there. I'm getting jealous.
Mhm.
But I think if this Kentucky game did not get canceled, I think we'd feel a little bit different about Louisville.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about rankings. Let's get into what happened this week in baseball.
Go
I only
Cards.
have one to talk about. I just give a shout out to Grand Canyon, the best team in Arizona. That might be a little bit of an overreaction. But they
Hey,
swept
it's not.
Texas Tech.
It's not. They are the kings of Arizona.
I mean, you could make an argument. They dominated Arizona in the midweek, 19-3. They beat ASU so far. And they just swept
And
Texas Tech
Arizona-
in the midweek.
And Arizona was the ones that said they don't belong on a field with them?
No, that was Arizona State.
Oh,
Yeah,
Arizona
that's
State.
it was the
Oh.
Sun Devils.
Yeah, they're like,
Wasn't
"Let's
it-
share my
wasn't it-
field, little bro," and then they were just like, "Piss on you."
Yeah, I don't.
Did
Were they
say it
basically
was
the
a
Texas
D1?
State of Arizona? Is
Yeah,
that comparable?
might as
Are
well.
they the Texas State of Arizona?
Or-
Give myself
are
some
they the-
credit. I called that one.
Or are they the Southern Miss of Mississippi?
Ooh.
Or the Mercer of Georgia?
Oh,
The list goes on, apparently. Jeez.
or are they the Charlotte of South Carolina, North
Or
Carolina?
the northeastern of Louisiana.
Hey, they're not.
Or
Or
are
that-
they the Evansville of Indiana?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
We're really, guys, if there's
Shout out
better
Purple
indication of
Aces.
how familiar we've become with college baseball, that 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Excellent.
I
Hey,
can
guys,
honestly say before
we're not
this-
idiots.
before this last 3 months, you would have asked me that question, I would have known shit. I would have been like, yeah, I know college baseball, like enough. But now we're over here becoming
Yeah, if you would have
experts,
asked,
as-
if you would have asked me, hey, would you rank Texas State in any sport? Like, no, not a chance.
I ranked them in party schools. They're a great party school. Had a blast there, but
San
Everything
Marcos
else-
do be
All right.
having fun out there.
What else happened in this week's baseball action, though?
I will say that one team, I forgot it, Brennan will back me up. They beat someone 42-2 or something like that.
I'm about to
Yeah.
go back to get the name.
I had to try to do that, but it was too far back.
Wait, hold on. If it was 42-2,
That's like
wouldn't
that's
that be
7.
close?
Nope. 40-7. 40-7.
Okay,
Nowhere near
apologies.
close 50-3.
But Homie had 4 home runs in 2 innings, correct? Including
so-
a grand slam.
So he had 2 home runs in the first inning and then 2 home runs in the third inning. So he had 4 home runs before the 4th inning.
And he finished the game with 10 RBIs because he had a grand slam was one of those.
Yep, he only had 5 at bats. He walked the 5th one.
I mean, I would walk you too. I mean, maybe it wasn't intentional because it's 7.
Oh, it was definitely intentional.
What's the football math on that, Suges? 40-7.
That's 5 touchdowns, 5 extra points,
Right.
a field
no.
goal, and a safety.
I sent it in the
Or
group
was
chat.
it
There was
20
a team.
safeties?
There was a team that went up. This guy hit a home run. A 3-run home run was 14-0, and then they score 17. And the announcer of the game goes, "Oh, and that'll be 2 touchdowns and a field goal lead."
Yeah.
I was like, man, even the announcers are using
Suges
Suges math in baseball.
I mean, once you get past the 15s, it's
It's
Yeah. But that was Andrew Bradley of Earlham College against Defiance College. I believe they're D3. So
You named your
kinda-
college Defiance College.
yeah, they defied the laws of the NCAA.
I was about to say they
40
didn't
to
offer much
7.
defiance in that game.
Hey,
defied
believe-
the laws of being good.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, they only had 37 hits and 40 runs. So, and I
I
did a little-
don't even think Iona has 37 hits on the year.
I did a little research, and they had 62 at bats, and it's actually nowhere near close to any NCAA record of at bats in a game per team. Those are like in the 80s, and I think one team had 98. And I think it was the 25 inning game that Travis attended.
They have more hits in a game than Iona has losses in the season. Iona has 24 losses this season.
They have more errors in that game than Iona has runs scored in a season, and that's
What-
only 2.
What was the university that lost? What was their name?
Defiance College.
Do you think anyone bet the under for that game?
I don't think Vegas knows who Defiance
Yeah, I was gonna
is.
say, if anybody bet the under, I want to get inside that man's brain and be like, why did you pick this? But going into the midweeks,
Let's talk about
Okay.
Tech. Texas Tech.
No.
I'm-
Next
no,
topic.
I'm
Next
gonna go
topic.
with mine. Texas beat Rio Grande Valley. Shut your horse dog up, please. Georgia beat Clemson. NC State got canceled.
Hey, whoa, buddy, don't be stealing my seg.
I'm going through my teams.
Dude, your dog, you need to give him a treat and close the fucking door.
I'm gonna
Hey,
fucking kill her.
hold on, how many hits did you guys say?
37.
37.
Iona has scored 49 runs this year, so they almost.
Iona has scored 49 runs this year. This year. Wow.
Just
Okay.
a touchdown more than the other team.
And then Oregon didn't have midweeks, and Maryland also did not have a midweek. Also, to our viewers, if you have not checked it out, just
Brennan,
did a,
I swear to God,
we just mute yourself. To our viewers,
stop playing it off.
to our view-
Oh, I can still.
Dude, door's closed. She's at the back door. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
there's a sweet mute button on Zoom. Yeah, go take care of that. To our viewers
Woo,
that haven't seen yet, we put out
squeaky
a
cheeks.
interview with Oregon's head coach, Coach Mark Wazikowski. Not
Coach
Mike.
Waz. Coach Waz.
Coach Waz of Oregon, and he, an absolutely solid interview. What a good guy. Just quite frankly, one of the boys. We got to sit down with him. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, definitely go check that out because that was a blast for all of us involved. So
If you're an uncommitted high school player, he'll have you wanting to commit to Oregon
Yeah.
and go win national championship.
yeah, Brennan and I both have 4 years of eligibility left. So we might
Yeah,
be making our way to the West Coast.
Yeah, any guys listen to this, if you want some Ched BP, come to Oregon. I'll be there. I'll be throwing to you my white tee.
Also, Coach Waz said he tops out at 54 and it's flat. So you could be hitting some BP bombs. But yeah, that's all I got for my midweeks.
Yeah, so I'll go into my segment of the midweek scores.
Didn't know that was your segment.
All right, boys. Yeah, I missed one pod and you take it over. All right, so Tennessee beat Lipscomb 5-1. Virginia beat Liberty 7-2 because they're pretenders. Texas Tech lost to Grand Canyon University 4-9 and 7-8. They're the Kings of Arizona. Arkansas beat Central Arkansas 21-9. Miami beat Florida Gulf Coast 5-2 and FIU 17-1. Vanderbilt beat Austin P 12-2. Texas beat UT Rio Grande Valley 15-5, 13-5, sorry. Georgia lost to Clemson 3-4. Oregon State beat Portland 5-1. Arizona lost to Arizona State 10-6. Ole Miss lost to Southern Miss 7-10. Southern Miss is the Kings of Mississippi. Oklahoma State beat Wichita State 5-3. Notre Dame beat Butler 5-2. UCLA beat Loyola Marymount 5-4. Stanford lost to St. Mary's 1-8 because Stanford sucks. Texas State lost to Texas A&M 4-8. Texas A&M is the king of Texas. LSU beat Grambling 16-3. Mercer postponed against
Texas
Charleston
State?
Southern.
You can't. I'm not going to let that one slide.
Whoa!
I mean, Texas A&M did beat Texas State. I don't know.
And Texas.
And then Texas State beat
I get.
A&M.
You know what, guys? I can't argue.
Yeah. Well,
It's like a ladder, man. Texas State's at
So-
the top,
Hello,
Oh,
Texas
yeah,
Tech.
A&M just
or
beat
A&M's at the
Texas
top.
Tech.
Sorry.
Texas
Texas
Tech
A&M
would
just
like a
beat
word
Texas
with
State.
A&M.
Texas Tech does.
Yeah. So if A&M beats Tech,
They don't play.
100%, they're on top of the world. They're the greatest university in history.
That's not going to happen because they don't play.
I never thought those words would come out of an LSU fan.
Yeah. Well, their football team's disgusting,
I
but
guess we
baseball
just
team's
jumped
pretty
on
good.
into bold takes that Texas Tech is the greatest baseball team in
Just saying,
university history.
Yeah. So Mercer postponed against Charleston Southern just because they didn't want to take the home run record away from Tennessee. Gonzaga beat Washington State 12-0. NC State canceled against Campbell because they're chicken shit. Wake Forest beat Elon 6-4. TCU beat Texas Arlington 10-2. Louisville canceled against Kentucky in the Kings of Kentucky match. Florida beat Florida A&M 13-3. North Carolina lost to South Carolina 2-5. Carolina squads for the dub. Purdue beat Northern Illinois University 17-14. Auburn beat UAB 6-4. Old Dominion beat ECU 8-7. Maryland beat George Mason 8-5. Oregon had no game because Coach Waz was too busy talking to us. Florida State postponed against Jacksonville, and DBU beat Baylor 11-6.
Did you just say Elon lost to Wake Forest?
Yeah.
Weren't they in your reverse
Kings
top
of North
22?
Carolina.
Yeah, man, I fucked up. All right, relax.
Segment's getting taken from me. Wait.
So I guess
No. I messed up. I messed up earlier in the podcast, not just now. Except
So
when
it's
I
the
said UC,
Wake Forest.
UE, ECU, all those teams.
So Wake Forest UNC series will be for the Kings of North Carolina.
Yes.
Exactly.
And Wake Forest
Exactly.
will win that series.
Everyone
Yeah,
knows
okay.
North Carolina Indians are Kings of North Carolina baseball.
That's North Carolina Marlins, East Coast Marlins, baby.
So which of those games had big implications on the rankings? We talked about Texas Tech dropping to Grand Canyon. I saw Clemson beat Georgia.
So
Obviously,
Biggest-
Texas State.
yeah, biggest implications on rankings, and not in a negative way, is Southern Miss beating Ole Miss.
Oh, well, positive and negative.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it's a midweek for Ole Miss, so you know
Oh, fair.
can't count it,
I
but
can.
it's a
I sure
huge win.
can.
Yeah, it's a huge win for
Watch
Southern Miss.
Yeah.
They're moving in the Sun Belt next year, so I think they're going to hop out of the mid-major conversation. I think they're going to be, back in that conversation where they can actually get the rankings behind the wins. So I think it was a very good win for Southern Miss, and I think I hope I hope they jump up into ours next week because everyone else seems to be pretty high up on them.
Yeah, Suges, didn't you say something to someone on Twitter that you're gonna rank Southern Miss if that happened? Or were you gonna?
Oh no, that was me.
That was you? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I was like, once they beat Ole Miss this week, and who did they have this weekend?
Charlotte.
Oh yeah, the giant killer Charlotte.
Oh, they're dropping that series.
Well, Ole Miss or Southern Miss isn't a giant; they're a mid-major.
They're a giant now.
Nope, next year they're a giant. This year
Next-
they're a mid-major.
No, they're in the shade. They're under the radar in the shade right now.
Yeah.
Southern Miss is here.
No,
Under the
they're on
radar.
everybody's top 25, aren't they?
Southern Miss
Except
is
for
Except
here.
for us.
Okay. Well, is there anything else, or should we move to the weekend?
Yeah, let's move to weekend.
Because there are some good, Pac-12 had some good series last week. It's not quite as exciting this weekend. but the SEC and Big 12 are chock full of some good matchups this week. Oh, and the ACC. Actually, ACC more than any other conference actually this weekend.
ACC has the best game of the week with Virginia and Miami.
Yeah.
100%.
So, Brennan, you want to take us through who was on the slate for the weekend pick'em this week?
So we got Florida State visiting the Yellow Jackets, Georgia Tech. We have Oklahoma going next door to Oklahoma State. We have North Carolina going to Louisville. Virginia traveling all the way down to Miami. TCU traveling to Texas, and Arkansas traveling to Gainesville, Florida.
I will shock everyone by taking Arkansas over Florida with my 6. You know, as we're recording here, I'm not sure if anybody's going to use any other team in their 6 slot since Arkansas just won. Was it 8-1?
8-1.
8-1. Now, I will say for the record, my bold take last week was that I'm going to win in fantasy, largely because I think Arkansas is going to shit all over Florida. So don't really feel bad about taking the my 6 slot here.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Arkansas over Florida as well, my 6. Even though Florida is top 5 in home runs, LSU beat them, and LSU sucks. Arky doesn't. So that's pretty much my reasoning behind that.
For my
And
6,
LSU's the reason why
Solid
Florida got
logic.
all those fans and broke the record. Right.
100%. Absolutely.
For
They
my
can't even
6.
sell it. Can't even sell at their own stadium, man.
Jowers.
Can I talk now, Brennan? All right, for my 6, I'm going Texas over TCU.
I'm with Jowers on this one. Texas at 6.
I'm going with the game of the weekend here and taking Virginia over Miami at 6.
Oh,
Bold.
very bold.
That's bold. But I will follow that up with being equally as bold, going Virginia over Miami at 5.
Hey, same.
What?
Same. Dude,
Okay.
Virginia's hot, man. Virginia's
Okay,
hot. They're not
boys.
cooling down at times.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I had Arkansas at my 5, but with you guys putting Virginia at y'all's 5, I'm gonna match that and put Miami at my 5. I think Miami takes that series.
You're betting against Jack Mayhoff?
He does it for the content, and I love it.
You're
I got
voting
Miami.
ag-
I
you're
got the
voting
U.
against your boys.
He's coming off a fresh dub of the pick'em. So
I got the
Yeah.
U.
He's got clout right now.
Nothing to lose, Brennan.
Hey, this isn't the 90s. If they're giving you yacht parties and cocaine, you can
The
tell us.
U is back, Brennan.
I think
Oh my
I'm
God.
going
I think
Arkansas over Florida at 5.
Arkansas for
Brennan, who's your 5? Virginia?
Virginia.
I just feel like, and tell me if I'm totally wrong in this, Miami is giving me early year NC State vibes. Like Miami came out really like unexceptional, unremarkable. And now
Underwhelming.
they've rattled off like several quality victories over quality opponents. And for some reason, I just have this feeling like it's not gonna last. Am I wrong?
You think this weekend's the weekend, or
Oh, I definitely think they're going to lose to Virginia, but I'm saying after that, I don't think they're going to bounce back and continue the winning streak that they've had.
so
So
hypothetically?
you think Miami's a pretender? That's what you're saying.
Again, that's just a feeling
Nah.
I have. I haven't done any like research on it, so, I'm not gonna, that's why I was asking for your feedback to tell me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong about this.
No, I don't think you are. So
I think you're
hypothetical
100% wrong.
To
Well, I know you are. You just picked them,
Yeah,
but tell me
to-
why. Why am I
yeah.
wrong?
yeah, why is it wrong?
Because this weekend will prove why he's wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
that's
we're
not
not
what I'm
talking about
saying.
future. We're talking about
Name one Miami player.
I don't know any. Quincy
Name-
Carter,
Name one Virginia player.
Jake
Jake
Niehoff.
Meehoff.
That's why
Um,
they're
Devin
gonna. That's why they're gonna.
No,
Devin
no.
Ortiz.
Miami
Yeah.
just beat North Carolina. Didn't they sweep them?
North Carolina just got shit on by South Carolina, 15-2.
we don't know what South Carolina is yet though.
Yeah, that's true. Never mind. Yep, sorry, that doesn't even count. But so Travis, Miami, if Miami and Florida State played this weekend, who do you got?
Miami and Florida State.
Yep. I
I
feel
got
like
Florida
they're the same team. They're the
I
same
got
team.
Florida State.
They're not. The
I'm
same
taking
team.
Florida State
State's-
solely off of Parker Messick and Bryce Hubbard.
I want to say that, but then
Florida
they didn't
State's
get the
bullpen's
job
ass
against Notre Dame.
because they don't have a bullpen. They're like
Oh.
OU. Florida State is OU.
Well, you know, some
See?
days you just come out to pitch and you just don't have it.
That's
Some
hard.
days it's just not there.
That's
It's hard to have it every single start of a season.
Yeah.
And Travis, if you're contemplating saying Miami,
I wasn't.
is
Well, I was. I'm not sure.
okay. So
Travis, do you have Virginia at your 5?
No. We'll get back to it.
So
I-
with Miami, you would pick Virginia over them because of their offense, but you would possibly put Florida State because of their defense.
Another pitch.
So yeah, well, they're pitching. So
Miami's just winning, but I can't tell you how they're winning games. Like it's not been like it feels like when Eric talked about Clemson, like they rattled off all those victories in a row, and he pointed out that their ERA is over 4, and they're not generating like a huge amount of runs per game. It's not sustainable. So again, I haven't done any of the research on Miami. I'm just expressing what my feeling is about that.
yeah, but so their offense is good.
So that's
If their ERA is 4.3, their offense is good. UVA's offense is good. Their pitching isn't spectacular. It's great, but it's not Florida State's.
Why are we
So-
talking about hypothetical?
No, I'm talking about the UVA Miami game.
I think the only series
'cause he
Miami
was-
dropped is Florida. That's it.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to contribute to that conversation of Miami.
But yeah,
over-
no,
over
it's gonna be a good.
UVA.
It's gonna be a good series. I mean, you guys think they're gonna sweep Miami, or you think Miami will put up a good contest?
No,
I think it's a hard team
Yeah,
to
I
sweep.
don't think they'll sweep, but I do think Virginia wins that series. So
I think it's a close sweep.
So,
Travis, who you got at your 5?
Yeah, in my 5, I got Texas over TCU. That's all of us. 4.
I think Suges is going to like my 4 spot. I'm taking the Boomers Sooners over the Cowboys.
Let's go, Eric. You're bold this week. Jesus, the 6 spot and the 4 spot.
We just talked about how Oklahoma State is riding on,
yeah,
Dude, OU almost took that series versus Texas too. If it went
not
for their
almost,
that's-
not almost.
wouldn't from their freaking bullpen.
Yeah, it wasn't almost. The bullpen lost that game, and it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Well, and the outfielders that collided lost that game too.
That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
But OK State's not Texas.
OK State is not as inconsistent as Texas, and that's why I'm taking them at 4 over OU.
I was trying to find where Miami was on the list of run differential per game. Miami's sitting at 22, so they're averaging 3.3 more runs per game than their opponents. What's interesting though, Tennessee and Virginia are still the clear numbers 1 and 2. Number 3 is Rutgers, 5.5 runs per game more than their opponent.
Go Scarlet
Oh.
Knights, I guess.
Shout out New
Who-
Jersey, baby.
Who is
So
Rutgers
it's-
playing this week?
Rutgers is at up 5.5. Mercer is number 4, 5.2.
Wake
Wake
Forest.
Forest at 5, well, 5.1. So there's a lot of teams in the 5 to 4 range. Miami is at 3.3. Just some interesting data points up there at the top.
Yeah, so Nebraska was playing Rutgers this week, and that's why I'm not playing Nebraska.
Ah.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
I'm gonna do at my 4. I got Arkansas over Florida.
I'm with Jowers again on this one.
Look at us.
I got Arkansas at my 4.
They're going to tie for the win.
Well, no, because the Suges is bold one that he had to go against everybody on.
All right, I'm taking
Oh, yeah.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Am I 4? Taking Virginia,
Virginia
on my
at
4.
4.
For my 3. Wait, Eric, did you do 4?
Hold on, Brendan needs a
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
No, my 4 was OK State over OU
Ah.
because they're more consistent than Texas. Because Texas
That's right.
is
You
My
did say that.
3.
pee poo.
Don't.
OU over Oklahoma State.
Oh no.
Oh,
Gang bang, bang bang. Jowers did it.
This is now a Sooners podcast. I guess.
Jowers
I know.
fucking did
It
it.
took everything in me to not put them at one.
hey man,
I've been
sometimes-
so dog shit in our pick'ems that I feel like I have to pull out all the stops. And if that means putting old fucking Boom Soon up there, Kyler Murray, unblock me on Twitter, please. Yeah, that's my 3.
hey man, sometimes you stick around long enough to become the villain. That's all it is.
I know.
My 3 is the baby blue UNC Tar Heels over Louisville.
I like that. I haven't decided if I'm doing there in 2 or 3. I think I'm gonna go with the Cowboys in my 3.
I'm at 3. I'm taking the duo of Hubbard and Messick over Georgia Tech.
That's it, your 3 or 2?
Yeah, my 3.
3.
Brennan?
We're playing Pictionary
Draw
again,
more
Brandon.
pictures.
All right, boys, this would be for my 3 spot. Right or left? This is my right.
Left,
I know that.
Left?
left.
Always left.
I'm taking UT at my 3 spot. It says UT right there on the paper that's super
Nobody.
white.
No one, no one saw that.
Was that really? Wait, was that between UT
There we go. Oh,
and TCU in the same hand, or you couldn't decide on your 3?
yeah, no. It was TCU versus UT. I did
Why
want
would
to
you
make
not do
the
that
pick.
in your 1 if you're that unsure?
I'm a gambler, man. And I'm super glad y'all picked UT, by the way, because that's what I wanted to win.
I think both pieces of paper had UT on them.
Fucking
Uh,
shocker.
They didn't, but I can't prove it
So
because
for my 2, I'm gonna go Louisville over UNC.
Ooh. I'm gonna go the
Talking
opposite.
about-
I'm gonna take UNC.
My 2, I got
Now we know Saturday if UNC is winning the series, then Travis won't be backstage with me at William Black. So that's interesting.
my 2 spot. I got Florida
Okay.
State over Georgia
Your,
Tech.
your Yankees ticket was like 2-3 years of birthdays and Christmas presents, but that's how we're gonna do
He's
it.
asking
William
for it.
Black, we're coming with you.
Travis, you heard all splooges?
I'm sorry, Travis. I have Florida State over Georgia Tech. I think Kevin Parada gets a couple home runs, but I don't
It's
see them
hot
beating
again.
Florida State.
Man, it's hot again.
Those glasses are
Like 480-foot bombs hot.
Over the scoreboard.
over the score.
It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to go with the Cards over UNC in my 2 spot.
I like that. I like that.
I'm so happy you guys are picking my Louisville Cardinals.
You
So
call them
happy.
pretenders the first week of the series. Don't forget.
He did.
Yeah, that's when they were cold. No, I never said anything about Louisville. It was Liberty,
said they
and,
were-
and they're still pretenders.
You said they
Yeah.
were imposters.
The first
I said
the
look
first
out for
contender
Louisville.
the first pretender we did, he said it's Liberty, and then the next week he said
No,
Liberty
no,
will forever be my pretender the rest of the season.
Nope, that was third week.
I think the very first episode we did, you said that Louisville were imposters. I'm gonna look it up.
Shit, I might have. I think I said
That's
look out for
yeah.
Cincinnati. I think I said look out for
We
Cincinnati.
could clip Brennan and prove
Oh.
him wrong in every single
I
situation.
no, I did. I said Louisville's not the team they used to be.
Thank you.
But
All right.
That's tough, man.
My
so
2, I'm taking. Hold on, I just confused myself. I already made my 2. It was UNC.
Yeah.
so my 2 is gonna be the Engineers of Georgia Tech.
Let's go. That's my 1, baby. I won again.
Go fight, win, drink, get naked.
hell of a engineer.
I'm a rambling Marek from Georgia Tech. A hell of an engineer.
He didn't get the
If
memo.
I
It's
had a
okay.
daughter, should cheer for?
Eric, who's your two?
I already said it. Louisville over UNC.
Yeah, so
we're
my,
number twos.
yeah,
Good
so
ones.
my one, I do apologize.
You're not the first.
Florida State over Georgia Tech. So
Parker Messick is your deal breaker.
no, Georgia Tech being not that great this season is my deal
Georgia
breaker.
Tech's pitching staff. Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Florida State's offense isn't superb.
That's, you know what? Okay. From a TV perspective, like Virginia, Miami is going to make some great baseball. The Florida Stack. Sorry, I can hear myself.
The Florida double
Florida-
stack pancakes.
Yeah, Florida pancakes. The Florida State pitching staff against the Georgia Tech lineup is going to be one of the most interesting baseball games that you will see, because that is an elite pitching staff and an elite lineup. It's just, can they score enough runs to
I
overcome
hope
Florida State?
I hope Parada hits 3 dongs off Parker Messick and just
Parser
knocks him off.
Messick.
Parser Messick.
I guess now it's Brennan who can't say names.
The Friday starter. I hope he hits 3 bombs against him and knocks him off that pedestal he's on. Even though he's great, love you.
It's okay, it's not Landon
So,
Sims.
yeah, so I'm gonna save my one for the Louisville UNC series. I think you guys know who I'm gonna pick. It's gonna be UNC.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm
I
glad
think
you guys
I-
are finally picking my
I
cards.
think
Picks
that
against them.
changed within the last 3 minutes.
Nope, it didn't. Louisville is great, but UNC is just a little greater.
Let's go, Brennan.
UNC is gonna ride that Final Four vibe right into the weekend.
Other basketball players.
Winning is contagious.
Okay.
They only,
all right.
they only lost to Kansas because they make fake classes for their student athletes. They hire
is true.
rapists as their head football coach. Kansas sucks.
Eric, who's your one?
Yeah, my one, because I cannot pick Texas to win anything. I'm taking the Frogs over the Longhorns.
I respect the loyalty.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs. Except
You guys know
UT.
You see how Anteater's hand signal? What? Anteaters? I'm serious. All right. Suges.
I think I've done that before.
I'm gonna probably edit that out, but keep it for us.
No.
Okay.
So okay,
Oh.
so who's left? Me? Just me?
Yeah,
Everybody's got their one.
Let's go Shocker.
Woo.
Jesus,
Whoa.
let's finish up. I don't
No.
miss the show.
Yeah.
It's
No, no, no.
11:30.
Okay, so this whole podcast, I have always picked my Sooners, right?
Uh-oh.
And every time I pick them, every time I've picked the Sooners, I've been wrong. So
Except for last week. You picked them
no,
to
I said they were going to go
3-1,
3-1.
and they almost did.
No, my bold statement, I said they were going to go 3-1. And what did they do? They blew it. They let me down. So you know what I'm doing to them? And I got OSU at my one spot.
Wow. He saves it for the one spot and didn't even pick his own team.
Yes.
Did you pick any team? I swear to God, you just said LSU in your one spot.
OSU.
Oklahoma State
Okay.
University.
I think he's
Okay.
hoping OU listens to this and goes, man, Sue just didn't pick us this week. Gotta win now.
All right. That's it for episode 11. Great job, guys. Really quality content. Really focus on the baseball. Really making sure these listeners come back. Catch us on Monday morning. Later, nerds.